Riker's Iron presents.
Welcome back aboard, ladies and gentlemen, to Riker's Minicrate Adventures Volume 8, featuring Alten Van Helsing, the second Minicrate in Season 2 of Privateer Press's miniature subscription service. Is Alten Van Helsing. It's an alternate sculpt to Alten Ashley. He's essentially a monster hunter, which is the, Van Helsing kind of feel to him. I'm indifferent about the model, the initial viewing of the model. I am kind of excited for it just to have something kind of neat and quirky to paint. It looks very extremified, like the extreme versions of like the Berserker, or sorry, not the Berserker, the Carnivorian and the for Legion, or an extreme version of the Warp Wolf, stuff like that. It looks like an extreme version of Alten Ashley, and I'm kind of excited for that. I already have the model, so in terms of tabletop stuff, I'll probably do something more display with him. But nonetheless, it looks like a great model. So let's start this adventure, and let's see how this Minicrate stacks up. So, as before, we will not be looking at the packaging itself. Again, it hasn't changed since its initial release. If you want to check out that, you can check out our previous videos for any more information about the package and the box itself. It's pretty good. So let's jump into the contents of this mini crate. The only thing I'm really expecting in here is the miniature itself. I'm not sure if it's going to be metal or resin. I'm hoping it's more resin, but I have a feeling it's metal given the kind of the weight of the box. I'm also expecting, obviously, all the pieces of that mini, but the collector card that comes along with it. Sometimes there's a coupon in here. Because of that, I tend to open up the mini crate just slightly off screen here because editing out those coupons is a pain. So let me just break the seal here. I'm just going to crack it open. Crack this crate. Make sure there's actually the cardboard insert for this one. Unlike our previous review, I actually have the insert, and doesn't seem to be any coupon, which is good. So this is what you'll get in there. You'll get your Alten Ashley, aka Alten Van Helsing, and collector's card. So let me pull that out, show it to you guys proper. Sorry, I'm just trying to get the pieces all to separate from each other. There we go. So there he is. It's a mix of metal and resin, which I was not expecting, to be perfectly honest. I thought it was going to be mostly metal. And our awesome looking art. I really like the art on this. I know they've shown it off before, but really like this one. What does it say? Let there be natural deaths for all supernatural beasts. Ooh, I like that. It's kind of spooky and ominous. Very cool. So that's the contents. Contents of the box is actually surprising, so I'm going to give it a perfect rating. I was not expecting it to be resin and metal. So let's take a look at the actual miniature itself. For those of you who are joining us for the first time, our rating system is based around... Is there bad mold lines? Are there any lost details? Are there any poorly fit together pieces? Are there just any problems in general with the miniature? So let's take a peek. We'll line this up for you guys, show that off, and then we'll jump into each individual piece. So those are all the pieces in the mini crate. I'm actually surprised. I thought there was going to be more pieces, but I'm pleased that there's less. It means less pinning and less problems. The weapon itself and the hands appear to be metal. Let's see where it's cut off. It's cut off at the forearm there, and this one cuts off at the wrist, which is kind of lame, just in terms of fitting purposes and painting. So yeah, let's take a look at each individual piece, and let you know what issues, or if any, that we have with the model itself. So his sword arm is detailed. His fingers, though, look very squished, and there's a bad mold line going down there, so that's a little disappointing. Just going to take a little bit to separate them and make them clear and shave away. It's not too bad of a mold line. It's not really thick or deep, so it's easily removed, and to reshape the fingers might be harder than expected. The overall sword, though, feels a little dull. It feels a little rounded. I was hoping for a little bit pointier of a piece, but it's still pretty cool. Very, very nice. It's clear what it is, and there's nothing really bad about it. Well, nothing too bad about it. Let's take a look at his crossbow, which is the hefty, like, if you're comparing the size of him versus his crossbow, it is the size of him, which is insane. I guess if you're hunting giant war beasts, you're going to need something that can drop a troll or a warp wolf or a titan for that matter. Overall, this piece, let's take a little spin here. It looks great. It's very solid. There's no bent. I was afraid of it being bent. It's a very solid piece. You can make out the arrow on the top with the feathers. There is some mold. There's some mold line around there. Just some thin strands. There's a mold line right down the side, but all of this stuff is on flat surfaces, easily removed and repaired, so nothing really to complain about there. His fingers are nice and clear on this one. There's no mold line going over them, which I can appreciate, because removing them from the fingers often causes problems, even on metal minis. Overall, that's a pretty nice little detailed piece. Alten himself, look at that. Great pose, very nonchalant, almost like he's like, coming home after a hard day's hunt. Just kind of walking. Looks like his arm slings over his shoulder, like he's just casually strolling through the woods. Like that. Boom. It fits actually quite nicely. So let's take a little spin around him. Check out all the details on this. It's very clean. It's very clean and hard. It actually feels more like plastic than the resin. I'm not sure if it's actually the plastic, but it feels... No, it's definitely the resin. Look at the detail on this cape. Look at that. That is some next level stuff right there. I wish that they would have this for a lot of their minis. Just that alone is an amazing centerpiece of the miniature. His hat is really awesome. Very clean. His face is detailed. You can see what it is. It's a little plain, but it's detailed nonetheless. All of the straps, everything is very clear on the mini. Nothing is really merged together. Even on the cape here with this, it's still distinguishable. Injection ports on the feet, perfectly fine. That's awesome. It means when you shave them off, you'll have a nice flat surface. There's no real detail loss there. But this here is going to be a pain. You'll run the risk of something this thick when you're going to cut it away. It might remove this whole piece. You have to be super careful. And even after that, you're going to have to do some shaving and some repair on it. So it's not too bad. Definitely lesser of evils. Definitely more appreciated to be here than, say, on his leg or on his face or the top of his hat or something like that. So, or on the back where all this nice detail is. So overall, what do I think about Alten Ashley? The detail on the mini is really great, really impressive. The indistinguishable fingers over here is a little disappointing. It kind of squishes together and is a little hard to see. That's a little shameful, but that's expected with metal stuff, which is why we would tend to look at them a little bit more closely. The injection thing here is perfectly fine. Like I said, shaving it away is pretty good. Detail on the mini is excellent. I am looking forward to painting this guy. I didn't think I would be, but with that cape detail on there and just everything being so clean and crisp on him, it really shows how they're improving their mini crates slowly over time, and looking forward to painting this. I'm going to give this a score of great. So what do I think of Alten Van Helsing, the alternate sculpt model for Alten Ashley? I think it's a great model. It's very detailed. The original Alten Ashley is a very ugly model. It's an initial release model almost. Like, it doesn't have as much character or detail as this. I can definitely see a lot of people out there who do have the Minicrate subscription replacing their Alten model with this. It's also a little bit bigger. I feel like it in comparison to the Alten model. It feels just slightly bit bigger, and that's actually a good thing. I like a little bit bigger of a model. The details there. It's a greatly detailed piece. It's going to be very clean to paint. It's going to be very easy to paint. And for those people who are newer to the hobby and don't want to do a lot of repair work and pinning and all that stuff, it's going to be an easy model to set up and get going. So where would I rank this model? I definitely don't think it's going to take one of our top 3 spots, but I definitely think it's one of the better models to come out of the Minicrate stuff. I definitely approve it over the Plaid Piper or even the Fight Club Mini. I really am digging everything about this mini. Just to me, it just doesn't really stack up in terms of the top 3, but it definitely is one of the better Minicrate models from Privateer Press. If you're interested in seeing this painted up along with some of our other Minicrates, you can check us out on Monday nights. We do Minicrate Mondays, and it's the second part of the Minicrate Adventures. So part 1 starts here, part 2 starts or kicks off on Twitch. So if you want to check that out, you can check us out at twitch.tv/RikersIron.